A development company has its eye on an opportunity for new life and more community space in St. Pete's 22nd Street district. That's just west of Tropicana Field.
Yeah, with all the growth across Tampa Bay, ABC Action News in-depth reporter Stassi Olmos is taking a closer look at their request to rezone for more business and housing in this previously industrial area.
In the 1900s, railroads set the stage for growth in St. Petersburg, one running all the way down First Avenue South through industrial land here on 22nd Street. But now that those railroads are gone, the area is taking on new life, from bike trails to breweries.
We're standing on what was a rail line that we ripped out to make this patio.
If you're a beer drinker in Florida, you've likely heard of Three Daughters Brewing.
We've been here for 8 years. And at the time we moved in, we were really the only business that was active here in this corridor.
Google Maps gives us a view as far back as 2007, when Mike Harting's brewery was once the Banks Supply Company, previously Banks Metal and Auto Parts in the 1920s.
A lot of these smaller cities have industrial areas that are no longer being used for industrial purposes.
If we look at a map of St. Pete's zoning, you'll see gray for industrial zoning in two places where railroads once ran. Three Daughters passes zoning because they brew and distribute beer. But one Miami-based developer has a bigger vision.
We're on a vacant parcel of land between the Moran Center for Clay and Three Daughters. This piece of land also has direct connectivity to the Pinellas Trail. So our hope would be to build a mixed-use environment here that'd be a mix of housing, commercial space, and really create a great public benefit to connect to the Pinellas Trail.
Joe First with Place Projects is part of the Makerhood movement, finding dormant property to give new life.
The plan basically tries to recalibrate the planning and zoning framework to allow for more housing, more commercial uses, and most importantly, we're all within a quarter mile of mass transit here with the BRT line. So we want to have a place that's vibrant that leads to ridership along the BRT line and obviously employment opportunities.
His ideas come straight from the surrounding Main Street corridor districts on 22nd Street, the Warehouse Arts, and Deuces Live.
The Deuces Live is a certified Main Street. Main Streets are a project of the National Trust for Historic Preservation.
When Interstate 375 was built to downtown in 1977, it displaced dozens of families and businesses in the historic African American community near 9th and 22nd. The Deuces Live and Warehouse Arts District recently created an action plan asking the community what they wanted in future growth. Their plan includes walkability, livability, and parks.
Joe used the same consultants to come and say, hey, if I put something between 3rd and 5th, what should it look like based upon what the community already wants? And so he came up with what he calls 22 IMIX.
IMIX stands for Industrial Mixed Use. What First is hoping St. Pete City Council will approve in new zoning for his project between 1st and 5th Avenue. HARTING says it could ultimately be part of something much bigger for St. Pete.
If the Rays site develops into something different, this can become a part of that as it grows west. And that idea of mixed use, having retail here and possibly some residential as well, I think that's what this should grow into.
The city planning department tells me they're looking at the rezoning as part of their 2050 plan. In St. Pete, I'm in-depth reporter Stassi Olmos, ABC Action News.
Stassi, thank you. Staying in St. Pete, the BRT is Tampa's first bus rapid transit system called the Sunrunner. It's still under construction but expected to open this year. In regards to the mixed up rezoning here, the St. Pete Director of Planning and Development Services told us this in an email response. Quote, city staff is researching and evaluating options for land use and zoning updates to provide more flexibility in uses related to the PSTA BRT station areas along commercial corridors, including 22nd Street South along the Pinellas Trail and within the industrial land use and zoning categories, end quote. Now, City Council will have to approve the rezoning. Reached out to District 7 Councilmember Lisa Wheeler Bowman, but did not hear back. There is no timeline on a decision as of right now.